little bit of olive oil, little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
And then we fried our spare ribs too
Alright.
in it.
Wait, what did we find?
Then I have to give you a recipe for the meatballs. That's separate.
Alright, go.
Go ahead. Speak.
Is it on?
Yeah, we'll cut it up later.
Alright. Hi, and welcome to the Rose Show. And today...
No, Rose Cerasa show.
No, my Rose Show.
No, it's the Rose Cerasa show.
No, it's my show. She's got started on the show.
Come on, go.
Welcome to the Rose Show. And today on the Rose Show, we will be learning how to make Nannie's sauce.
Spaghetti sauce.
Spaghetti sauce. First, what she did, she sauteed
Onion
and garlic in this meat. Yeah. And then we already have the meatballs.
Well, they're pre-made too. and
Pre-made.
Yeah.
Well, what did you do, Nan, for this? For the
Sauce now, you'll watch me.
we'll talk about how much the quantities are.
Yeah. Well, I'm putting in, I'm making an extra big pot. So I'm putting in 6 cans of crushed tomatoes,
What size cans?
28 ounce.
They're just plain crushed tomatoes.
Here, I use red pack, crushed tomatoes, and thick puree. That's what I use.
And what did you do with the meat now? Before?
Just browned the spare ribs,
What kind of spare ribs are they?
pork,
Okay, and then what about
pork
the?
spare ribs.
What are those onions and garlic on top?
Yeah, because after I cook my spare ribs, I put onion and garlic and a little oil and brown them like you see.
So the only meat in there are spare ribs?
So far, it'll only be spare ribs.
Was there
yes.
pork spare ribs?
Pardon?
Pork?
Yeah, pork spare ribs. And then I put all beef meatballs. Okay, now these tomatoes, oh, what the hell, whole tomatoes, oh, I got the wrong box. Oh, sugar. I have to crush these. Because they're whole tomatoes. No, don't even bother with that. I'll do that on the side.
Wait, so the other ones all wrong?
What, honey?
Are the other ones wrong too?
No. The other ones are fine.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have 6 cans in here now. Here's what I do now.
Zoom in at what she does.
I rinse out the cans. I rinse them out.
Wait, so how many did you do? 5 of the
6
whole
cans.
5 of the whole tomatoes and then one of the crushed?
No, 5. Just put 6 crushed.
Oh.
6 I did.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna count that.
So you're saving the water with the sauce?
Yeah. No, I'm cleaning the cans and then I throw it in because you have to add some water to it. And I don't, you keep adding water most of the time, 3 or 4 times. Then. And these all go in the garbage in the recycle. Okay, then I add the water.
Hang on, I don't got it.
Yeah, from here.
Oh crap! I'm not feeling this tripod thing yet.
So you just put about a can of water in there?
Yeah, with at least 6, you gotta put at least. Then, if the sauce gets real thick, you always can add water.
So you just added 1 can right now.
Yeah.
Tell
yeah.
talking to the camera.
Okay.
See what you just did.
if you need, if your sauce is way too thick, you could always add a little more water at a time. Because if you don't, it gets too thick and then it sticks to the pan.
So as I want the tripod because it's a more professional look, it's not bouncing all over the place, okay?
Right.
Yeah, so,
I will, but once you walk
No, that's
away,
okay. Just pick it up and move it. It's just not a problem. Here, pause it right now.
No.
Now, then what we do, what I do, is I add my spare ribs.
See, now I can't get in there and watch
well,
what you're
just
doing.
move, just pick it
Yeah,
up
but
and move
it's
it.
too high.
Well, then let me do it, okay? Get
No,
out.
I got it. Back
You
away.
don't have, no.
Go get your sandwich.
Just put it like this, and then use it as one stick. And then you
Alright,
can
go
move it more.
Wait, so what are you doing?
I'm putting in my spare ribs and my onion and garlic. I might have too much,
How hot do you have the kettle on right now?
I didn't put it on yet.
It's not even on yet.
I put it on low because my stove is electric and if I put it on high, it tends to burn. It tends to burn.
What, just put garlic and onion and a little bit of oil and just saute those meat. Do you cook it ahead of time?
What, honey?
The meat? I mean,
No, you just saute it there. You saw what I just did. I mean, you could see it. All you do is saute.
It just burns the alcohol a little bit.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm squeezing those other tomatoes really, really soft and small.
Oh, the whole tomato
I might
can?
not even add it. I might leave it and use it for soup. That's what I might do, honey.
You're gonna make the soup today?
No. No, I gotta make soup for Robert. I might make it Sunday. I don't know if I can.
Why does it? Why does
I don't have
But
enough room.
does
Put it in
Robert?
my refrigerator.
Does he like whatchamacallit better?
He wants my
Well, can we
chicken
come
soup.
watch you make chicken soup too?
Ah,
Come on.
no. Yeah, you can, but not
When you gonna
now
do it?
when they're here.
Did I just take a
Too much,
picture?
Vin. I got too much in the way.
Wait, what's going on?
Do it.
Yeah, I will.
We'll just ask
Okay,
you
see,
300
look, look.
questions.
Get close, Rose.
See, I just mixed this in. Okay? And then I always add at least for this big pot, I always add at least, I would say, wait, I'll tell you. At least a half a cup of sugar. Okay?
How do you know that's a half a cup?
I know. Half a cup of sugar. And then if you like it sweeter, you add more. Half a cup of sugar. All right,
Half a
now.
cup of sugar.
Okay, now let me get it
Get out of the way, Rose.
right on my face.
Kill her.
Muddy,
She's not gonna let you come back to do the chicken soup.
Beauty. Then
Shut
there's
up.
another thing, Rose, look.
What?
You put in about,
Wait, show me. Let me zoom in on you.
zoom in. You put in about a half a teaspoon of baking soda in your sauce.
Why? What does that do to it?
It takes the acid out of the sauce. Okay?
Nice.
Then I add hot pepper, crushed hot pepper.
How much?
Probably with this big pot, about quarter of a teaspoon. You always could add more, remember that. You always could add more if you want it hotter. Always add it later if you want. You could always add sugar. And I use black pepper, but I do not put salt in the sauce because the tomatoes all have salt. Okay, so then I sprinkle just enough around of black pepper. Like I say, you could always add more.
Tell the camera, don't tell me.
Okay, I just sprinkled the sugar, the salt, no, not the salt, the pepper and the hot pepper,
I'm baking soda.
and baking soda. And then you could always add it and just swish it around, swish it around with the spoon. And then I put my stove on.
Still, That's the trick in the camera, you don't do much, just hold it as still as possible.
Okay. Okay, I got it started on 5 because of this electric. I got it started on number 5, but I will lower it as soon as it gets a little bit hot.
Alright.
Okay?
You're just like creeping in the background, Dad.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm still not done. I have to put in fresh basil. I have to put in fresh basil, okay? But I freeze mine, so that's what I put
In the freezer.
in the freezer.
Goes
And then after
I'm trying to get her.
Yeah, after it cooks, here's the basil, see? Okay, see?
Earthquake!
Stop it, Rose.
I'm just kidding. Relax.
You're not, because I'm watching the whole thing's moving the whole entire time.
Oh, you could see? Oh, you're looking at the sauce? Oh, okay. And I'm gonna be having to add a lot of water because I got a lot of meat in here.
What about mint?
No, I don't put mint in my sauce. I put mint in my meatballs. And my meatballs are a whole different story. You have to write it down. You have to write it down, Vin. Okay, I'm just gonna let that get warmed up.
Pretend Vin's the camera. Don't talk to him.
See, my meatballs are already done because I freeze them. I did these last week. But I don't know if I could put that many in because that pot's not gonna hold all that. A lot of meat in there.
BTW.
What's she saying?
Yeah, yeah.
What's BTW?
By the way, it.
Rosie, don't take me. Don't take the big. Don't take Nannie.
Today is July 16th, 2010,
That's right.
12:41
Right.
p.m.
That's what it is.
But you're gonna have something more to say than that.
Look, now you can see yourself now in the front. How long do you
What?
How long do you get this in for?
Where am I?
Oh, no, go in, go in, go in. Pretend you're talking to me.
Okay, what do you want me to tell you, honey?
Give me some tips on how to make your sauce.
Well, I already just showed you what I do, and you didn't stay for me to cook the meats, and I'll give you a recipe for the meatballs, okay? That's separate because that's a whole big ordeal. And you just keep stirring. And,
Just-
yeah, stirring in the meat till it comes to a slow boil.
But how long do you keep it on there for?
On the what? On the stove?
Yeah.
Oh, at least 2 to 3 hours, maybe more,
Rose,
depending on the size of the pot.
Tell the camera.
Depending on the size of the pot. This is a big pot, it's 12 quarts. So I would say at least 3 hours to cook a full kettle of meat and meatballs in it.
You just keep stirring it?
Yeah, you have to just keep stirring it, and you have to keep adding water at certain times too when it gets real thick. And you can't cook it on a high flame either. You know, you can't cook it on high, especially the electric here, because I have to lower it. See, I'll make it come, you know, it's not even hot yet, so as soon as it starts to get hot.
Are there any other ingredients?
You put in there?
Yeah, that's it.
I already did, the basil, the sugar. I don't put salt in, because always you could add salt, because I made some marinara sauce and the other day, and I put shrimp in it, and it was way too salty. And I just added a little sprinkle of salt, so I try not to put salt in. And that's that. Okay, now where's my water? You don't have to leave that on all until it cooks, 2-3 hours.
No.
No, shut it off for a while, and when it starts to get
Oh wait,
boiling, I'll
but
tell
do
you.
like the introduction. Say, hi, I'm Rose Cerasa, and this is how to cook spaghetti sauce.
Alice and Yuri,
Come on.
This is for my grandkids.
for your grandkids.
To
okay.
your this.
Hi, I'm Grandma Rose Cerasa. I am Lucille's mother. And I am grandmother to Lucia and Rose Latempio
Wait, say the other ones too.
and Samantha and Daniel Schlein and Michael, Christina, and Robbie Cerasa. I got 7 grandchildren. And then I want to add Mary too. Mary Rose. Add Mary Rose to it. Is that all right, Rose?
Yeah, that's good. Keep
Okay,
going.
now what else you want me to say? Come with you.
Now say, and this is how to cook spaghetti sauce.
And this is what I'm trying to show Rose Latempio, how to make my spaghetti sauce. Okay?
No, I know, but do like.
Marinara
Let her
sauce.
talk.
Okay. Oh, wait, it's not recording though.
Well, hit,
Oh,
what
well.
are you doing?
Oh no, I just pressed it 2 seconds ago.
Okay, hit record.
So it's
Ask her the
recording.
question, why do you do the canned tomatoes? Let her talk.
Okay, why do you do the canned tomatoes?
I do them because I like to use them in my chicken soup and in marinara sauce that I like to make. And even in my spaghetti sauce, I could always add 1 or 2 jars, crush them up with the tomatoes or puree. And how I do the tomatoes is I buy the tomatoes, we put them in the
Any
same.
special type of tomato?
I usually use either plum or a whole tomato, a nice firm tomato. And then I rinse them, clean them, and boil water, and then you dip them in the water. You take them out and you
How long
take
do you put them in the water for?
maybe 1 minute, 1 minute and a half, that's all.
On high?
Yeah, until the water boils, it has to boil.
Oh.
Then you put the tomatoes in with the colander. Then you take it out real quick and you peel these tomatoes
The
where
skin.
there's no skin on. And
You throw
then,
the skin out?
yeah, and then on the bottom of your canning jar, you put in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. And then you fill them, use your fork and you have to press them down, and then you put them in these jars, you seal them tight, and then you boil this jar for about 10 minutes. Then you take them out, put them up, take them out, put them upside down, and when they cool, turn them up and twist your tops.
So you put them in
Twist
without
them.
the tops? You boil them without the tops?
No, you gotta seal it, this little ring here.
Do you seal, you don't,
You seal it after you fill the bottle. And then you close the bottle, you put the seal.
And then you put it in the water and boil it?
And then after you get enough, 7 bottles, you put them in the water, boil them for about, I would say 7-8 minutes for pints, 10 to 15 minutes for quarts. And then when that's all done, you take and you put your bottles upside down in your box, like this. When they cool, and you have to put them down the cellar, you lift them and you make sure that they're tight, so they don't squeeze out. Okay? That's what happens. All right, see now this is starting to bubble.
Then all you do is stir.
Yeah, just gotta keep stirring, honey.
Did you put a can of your canned tomatoes in here?
Not yet. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I'm gonna see.
What does it depend on?
The thickness.
If it's too thin, then you
Yeah,
won't.
these are kind of thick.
What are you doing now?
Okay, what I'm doing is I'm gonna see if I can get this thinner so I can put it in with there. I don't want them too thick, you know?
Oh, those, that was.
Yeah, that's the whole tomatoes that when I bought them, I picked the wrong damn can. They mix them up in this top, you know?
Wait, Dad, I have a question.
Go on, ask Nannie, let her
What,
say
honey?
it to the camera.
No, it doesn't have to do with this.
What?
Let's do a softball.
What's that?
Well, actually, 2 questions. Should I keep recording?
No, she's not doing anything. Just trying to keep my head above water. Did it work?
Larry, give me that, all right? Okay, what do you want me to say about the onion?
You guys say what you do.
You use a whole big onion for a 12-quart pan that I'm cooking the sauce in.
How much garlic?
And about a whole kernel and a half or 2 whole kernels of garlic, all chopped up fine. God bless you.
Okay,
Thank
sit,
you.
you're killing
And
us.
now all you do
Sorry.
is let it saute till it's brown, and you could start your sauce by throwing that in the bottom of the pan with your spare ribs. Then you could add all your tomatoes or your puree or whatever you choose to use.
Do you do the meat and the garlic and the onion separately?
Of course, you have to fry them in a frying pan. I just said that. I told her that.
Well, yeah, but you do the garlic?
The garlic and onion, I saute that alone. Then I add the spare ribs. Then I add the spare ribs.
After you take the onion and
After
garlic
I
out?
saute the onion and the
You
garlic.
take the onion
Yeah.
and garlic out and you put it in
Yeah.
a pan or something?
It's all mixed.
Yeah, it's all, you put it all together after,
See,
in the pan.
I know.
Then,
Well, no, this is, I don't understand, I don't understand, so they're not gonna understand.
why don't you do it, Larry?
Very simple. You cook the onion, you cook the onion and the garlic.
Wait, no, stop. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, go.
Okay, you saute 5, say 10 pieces of spare rib. Brown it. Put it in your pan that you're gonna make the sauce.
You put oil in the pan?
Then put a couple drops of water and put in your onion and your garlic. And saute that till it's brown. Then throw it in your pan with your spare ribs. That's it, that's all. What did I say that was wrong?
No, I just wanted to be clear so they understand. I wasn't sure that because when I saw the pan at the end, you had all the onion nice and neat on the top.
Yeah,
So I
because,
thought you
yeah.
had it separate.
No,
I thought you did
No.
one, and then you separated, and you did the other, and then you put those on the
No,
top.
what I do is the spare ribs, I do the spare ribs first because,
Did you put oil or anything in the pan to
not
separate?
with spare ribs, you don't need to.
Just put them in by themselves?
Yeah, yeah, if you need it, if they start to get brown real fast, then you can add a little liquid to it.
What, water or oil?
No, not water, never water, just oil, just a drop of oil. But I don't normally need that. If the frying pan after the spare ribs are done, if that's too dry, then I will add a couple drops of oil and saute my onion and garlic in there till they get brown. That's all.
But when you're sauteing the onion and the garlic, you have the pan still in the pot. I mean, you still have the meat in the pot.
Yeah,
They're all doing it together.
not the onion and the garlic, Vin,
I
no.
still don't understand, I don't get it.
I told
So-
you, in a frying pan,
Yeah.
okay? Here's my frying
Yeah.
pan. I put in the spare ribs.
Okay.
When they're cooked, I put them in the
Take 'em out.
casserole.
Okay.
I take them out. If it's too dry, then I'll add 2 drops of oil and I'll saute my already chopped up onion and garlic.
And it's separate.
And then I throw it on top of the meat.
Okay.
Because why you saw it that way is because I did that last night. Because it's too much to do in one day. especially a big pot like this.
We should have called us when we came last night and videoed you. Because we want it all on tape so they can know how to do it. That's
Well-
the idea.
Yeah, but you just told us like more.
I mean, you're not morons, you could know that, what you have to do. See, it's starting to boil, Rose? And that's important, when it starts to boil, you might have to lower it. But this is doing good. And then, after the sauce is cooked for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, that's when I add my meatballs in there. Okay?
Okay, so after an hour.
And then I will write down the recipe for the meatballs.
Tell us it now, though.
What, honey?
Tell us it now.
I-
Do you not know it?
I know it, yeah, I know it by heart, but it depends on how much hamburger you use, honey.
Well, just say what you got. Just
All right. 3 pounds of ground round or ground chuck, beef. I usually use 90% fat-free. And then I add maybe a cup and a half of breadcrumbs. And I put maybe a 1/4 cup of grating cheese, Parmesan grating cheese, a little salt, little pepper. I chop up an onion in there, and I also put in garlic powder, sprinkle a little garlic powder in it, and I put in fresh or dried parsley, whatever you choose. You can use both, I use both. And then I put in dried mint, and I flake it in with my hands. And it's all an egg. After you put all that in,
how much egg?
then you have to mix. I would start with 3 pounds, I would start with 3 eggs. And you mix your breadcrumbs, everything together. And then if it's moist enough, if it's still too dry, then you can add a touch of water and another egg. It's consistency. You gotta know, that
Well,
you
right
can
now you're
roll
saying
them,
1 egg per pound.
Yeah. Next time I make meatballs, I'll let you come over and see how I roll them and how I mix it, all right? Because you gotta be here all day to do that.
That's okay, we'll show up whenever you do it.
And then after your sauce is partly boiled and cooked in that, then you can always taste a little, just to see if it's sweet enough to your taste. A lot of people don't like sugar in it. A lot of people don't like sugar in their sauce, but I do. I always put a little in,
Me too.
My girlfriend yells at me because she says her sauce, she never put sugar in it. And you know what I do sometimes to cut? I know I'm talking no more.
Tell the time, tell it.
I got Splenda. I'll put a sprinkle of Splenda in it if it's not sweet enough. If it's not sweet enough, I'll put Splenda.
Okay.
I'll take the sauce.
Alright, Don, move that little bowl behind it, though. No, wait.
Here, do you want me to make believe I'm putting them in?
Yeah.
You'll say like it's 10
Okay.
hours.
The sauce has been cooking for about an hour and a half to 2. And now I'm going to be putting my meatballs
Rose, you're not supposed to be laughing.
in. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right?
Yeah.
Did you see me take them out?
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, good one.
Throw it in?
No.
Okay, I'll put it on the top here. Okay? Then I put whatever meatballs I'm going to put in, I put in there. All right?
Alright. Good work. Wait, go.
And that is how you make spaghetti sauce. Yeah,
Go.
that's important.
Say it.
Rem- Remember to always keep stirring it every 10 to 15 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
I load it. Rose, you know, I gave you the recipe for the soup, didn't I?
Yeah, I have it still.
You still have it? Yeah.
Well, you don't think you're gonna do it tomorrow?
No, I don't think so. I have